I'm here with Mike Etherington Smith, who is over from the UK, and he is the course designer for the CCI 3-star, the 2-star, and he's helping Stuart Tinney, our very own gold Olympic medalist, on the ground here at Sydney, who's also course designing. Welcome back, Mike.
Thanks.
Back to sunny Sydney.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Yeah. Now, of course, you were the course designer for Sydney 2000 many years ago, and you've been back several times since. It's a few years on now. How have things changed in that time?
Well, here obviously the venue's matured a lot. The trees have grown, you know, but it's settled down. I mean, it's a very new venue, as you know, in 2000. And you know, I came back probably 2 years ago, not having been for half a dozen years. And you know, the first thing is you notice the trees have grown a lot, and because the viewing has completely disappeared. You know, you could stand on the top of the hill over there, and you could see the steeplechase course. You could see all the fences in the first loop very easily. Well, you can't do that now. So, but no, it's good. I mean, it's bedded down. It's great to see the venue being used.
Yeah. And the course, obviously, you don't use anywhere near the amount of the course that you did for Sydney, did you? It's a lot in a lot smaller area, this year's course.
Well, one of the things I wanted to do last year was to keep it all this side of the ridge, you know, sort of to avoid going out the far side, because it's much more user-friendly, it's much more spectator-friendly. And managed to find the required amount of distance without too much difficulty, which was good. So, you know, that was step one. And then, you know, I'm looking at various other areas, looking ahead, thinking for next year. We're mowing some grass, we're looking at the inside of the steeplechase course. That's a possibility, and then instead of going quite so far up on the rather dull loop up there, to see if there's a way through the trees, so we don't have to go quite so far up. So what I'm trying to do is create some options now.
Yeah. And what do you think are going to be the tricky things for people this year? Let's look particularly at the 3-star, which is obviously also the Trans-Tasman course.
I think, you know, whenever you do a championship track, you're always mindful that there's team competition, and so you have a slightly different thought process in that, in that, you know, maybe there's one or two extra long routes, long options out on the course than I'd normally put there. But this year I'm happy with the course. Last year, because of the weather, it was a complete compromise. I mean, it went to plan D, not even plan B last year. This year the weather's been good. The guys are more familiar with what I'm expecting in terms of quality of presentation and things, and in terms of overall degree of difficulty, the course is pretty much where I wanted it to be, which it wasn't last year. Last year was too soft because of the wretched weather, to be honest. And so they had a fair run, and I think, you know, it's like on any course, you've got to look at a course as a package, and it's how the whole thing plugs together. The undulations here inevitably have an impact, and the weather is scheduled to be quite warm tomorrow, so the riders are going to have to use their heads. And as a course designer, one of the things we're always trying to do is actually make riders have to think their way around a course, make decisions based on how the horses are going. You know, am I going to go that way? Am I going to go that way? How much speed am I going to use? How much pace and energy am I going to use up in the first half of the course? Being mindful that there's more at the back end of the track this time, so they've got to keep some gas in the tank. So I think that, you know, they're going to have to think their way around. There's plenty of room for steady runouts. They're going to have to ride. And what I try and do is always give the riders the opportunity to show what they can do, and the horses show what they can do, rather than try and find out what they can't do and they don't know. So it needs to be a positive experience, and hopefully there's enough of a variety out there. We'll find out on cross-country day. But in reality, it's the combinations that generally, you know, at this level, are the ones that require a little bit more thought and a bit more planning.
Yeah. And you haven't come straight to Sydney. You've done a little detour via a couple of places. You're doing some mentoring for other course designers here in Australia, which is a great thing, because we need more course designers, I think.
Mentoring is a bit of a grand word. I'm sort of, for what it's worth, I'm sharing the benefit of my experience, let's say. And yeah, no, it's great. I went down to Canberra, then I've been down to Melbourne as well on this trip, and looking to go to some other places later in the year as well. So it's great. You know, I love going around different places, and you know, there's cross-country course design is all about feel, really. A lot of it's about feel, and a lot of it's about keeping things simple. And you know, actually walking courses with course designers, just generally discussing philosophy and concepts and balance of the course, the feel of the course, the use of the terrain, all that sort of stuff it's just a great thing to do. And we did a lot at home. It's, you know, obviously at home it's a lot smaller country, so it's a lot easier. Whereas here, it's dead easy. You just jump on a plane. So it's, that's how it is.
You know all about that. You must spend plenty of times on planes.
Oh yeah.
And you're flying back after Sydney and heading back to Badminton.
Yeah, I'm out of here on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Back to the UK.
you'll be going to the next really big one and looking after people at
Yeah, I've got
Badminton for British Eventing.
Yeah, it's full of meetings.
Yeah.
It's meeting, but a bit of socialising as well.
Well, it's lovely to have you here in Sydney. We've got great weather. We've got a great course.
I know, it's fantastic.
I know, it's just lovely. So
I'm not sure I want to go home.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to be sunny for Badminton too.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed we'll all have a lot of good rides tomorrow and we'll maybe catch up with you afterwards.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay, thanks.